and then we're watching them on Facebook, and it's like I'm sitting there waiting because there's like that delay that we got now. Okay, so I'll try to talk my way through it like a Joe Rogan style that we can do here. Welcome to the show, everybody. It's the Patrick Carr Show, live here with you out of Orlando, Florida. Well, look at that. See? I'm going to turn this down. There we go. All right. So technical difficulties here with Chris Messina, the Republican candidate for mayor of Orange County, man.
Yeah. Well, conservative candidate for mayor of Orange County. Yeah, that's me. Yeah. I'm running. I was runner-up 4 years ago to Jerry Demings, and a lot of the issues have not improved, and so I'm back.
Man, you're back for more. Huh?
Yeah, well, it's a battle, but it's one worth fighting for because Orange County, Greater Orlando are amazing places that we've got to invest in.
All right. So when I look at politics around Orange County and Central Florida, I see a lot of career politicians. You're not that dude, though. You don't have to do this. You've made your money in the private sector.
Yeah, I have.
Tell people a little bit about why you're coming back for a second time here, bro.
Yeah, it's a feeling of kind of being called by a higher power to use my talents and my education and my ideas. And I really feel like Greater Orlando needs a new vision, not another recycled politician. And so that's kind of been what's my calling, and we can go through some of the ideas that I have, but that's what we really need in Greater Orlando.
All right, so let's just talk about Orange County versus Orlando. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I think the average viewer out there probably has no idea we got two mayors around Central Florida right here.
Mm-hmm.
Can you first just break down for the average person, how does this hierarchy work between, let's say, a Buddy Dyer and a Demings right now?
Yeah, Jerry Demings.
Let's just say Patrick Carr was Orlando mayor.
Yeah.
And Chris Messina is Orange County mayor. How does our hierarchy work in this?
Ideally, we would be working together. Orange County is the larger entity. It encompasses not only Orlando, but also many of the smaller cities, like small to large, but smaller cities like Belle Isle, all the way up to large cities like Apopka and Ocoee, and of course Orlando. So ideally, there would be a collaborative relationship with what's called interlocal agreements, where there's sharing of resources and a common vision, and that's what I think we need to move Orlando in particular forward, is to have just a vision that's shared by the mayor of Orlando and by the mayor of Orange County. Orange County is the larger entity, though.
Of course.
Yeah.
When I look, though, at something like Tampa, right? Yeah. To me, Tampa, the city of Tampa, takes up a small portion of Hillsborough County.
Right.
When I look at Orange County, I think Orlando, right? It kind of feels like Hillsborough's got so much more to it. But for me, for whatever reason, I guess I look at Orlando differently. I feel like there has to be a symbiotic relationship between city and county, a lot more closer here in Orange.
Orange County is Greater Orlando. It really is. I mean, that's a fundamental fact. When you look at the metropolitan service area, the MSM they call it, it's Greater Orlando, and the overlap with Orange County is almost 100%.
I got it. So you make money in the private sector. You decide that you're going to come to Orlando. You see, from what I can gather about you, you really see that things are not going well in the Greater Orlando, Orange County. You decide to run against Demings. The problem being that I've said before, all these people that are preaching no kings, you should basically be going after Demings and Dyer, because those two names have been resonating through the halls of Orlando for the last 20 plus years.
Yeah.
And I think, unfortunately, Chris, is that most people go to the ballot box. They think, well, things aren't going too bad right now. I recognize that name. Here, checkbox right there.
Yeah.
You put up one heck of a fight in an area that is traditionally all Democrat. And by all, I mean city and county. Why do you think your message resonates with Orange County voters?
Well, because I think people are looking for hope, and they're looking for new ideas, and they've seen their own personal experiences. The past decade of leadership on the left has failed them. Their incomes are not greater. They don't feel safer. Their kids and grandkids and themselves don't have as much hope for the future as they once did. And we have a lot of interestingly, our support is coming from small businesses, retired people, and young people. And it's interesting because they are all deeply concerned about what is the future for this place that I live in. And Greater Orange County has so many blessings. We should be one of the top 5 counties in the country, and we're at the very bottom in terms of median individual income.
I think we are at the bottom, right?
Yeah, well, we're bounced back and forth between last and last and dead last. So 49th or 50th out of the major metropolitan areas.
I've said before on this show that is a inexcusable shame.
Yeah.
When Orange County is sitting there on the largest university in the country and the #1 tourist destination in the world.
Yeah.
And you're right there sandwiched between it all.
Yeah.
And yet you have the lowest median wages anywhere.
Yeah.
Right? It just screams to me, and this is gonna, I think me and you agree on this.
Yeah.
When you build an economy based around this service industry right here, you lend yourself to these big companies that pay low wages, and that just filters down into the economy of the county.
Yeah.
You have a plan, though, and I want you to discuss that.
Sure.
How do we get higher wages into Orange County in private industry with good paying jobs here?
Well, we need to leverage our natural advantages. So you mentioned the university you mentioned is UCF.
Yeah.
We have 72,000 students. They have some major initiatives that are world class in simulation and in space. And so we have to think, what are our natural advantages here in Greater Orlando? And one of them that's very obvious to me is space tech.
Okay.
So we are right across the St. Johns River from the world's premier launch facility. We're a great place to live for families that want to locate here and take advantage of the theme parks and the arts. And we have this university feeder system that it calls itself Space U, and has a major initiative in space. So I think we should become and plan to and execute on becoming the space tech capital of the country. And part of that execution to me is, let's go out and try to recruit the first military academy in the South, the Space Force Academy, to come right here to Orange County. We're a perfect place for it. We've got land. We're in the center of Florida, one of the most important, if not the most important state in the country. And we have all these other resources, educational resources. We have a very significant veterans base here. And we have relatively good roads. Sometimes they're congested, I know, and that's a whole nother topic. We have no income tax. We have all the reasons why you want to, and we're south, which helps with the launch trajectories. We have all these reasons why you'd want to be located, something like that located here. And that's going to spin off a minimum of $1 billion and a lot of great jobs.
Everybody, we're with Chris Messina right now, the conservative candidate over for mayor of Orange County. Please, if you're watching, ask questions here. We want to make sure we get some over to Chris here before the end of the show. I am monitoring them. So any questions you ask, we'll get them over here to Chris right now. Regardless of what platform you're on, come over here and ask the guy a question about what's going on over in Orange County. Let's stay on this topic, though, because I think the jobs, it's always the economy, stupid, right? That's what they say.
Yeah.
And so I like this. I like tech coming to Orlando.
Yeah.
Because when I look down to Miami, right, I see so much progress, sprawling. It feels busy. There's something. There's life to it. I come to Orlando and it feels like we've lost that life, right? It just feels dead. Feels like we're dying on the vine. And when I hear stuff like this, when we're going at the tech side, that excites me because it's the future. And it seems that your past is in tech. So this is a world you know, right?
It is. It is. I right out of business school, I went to Harvard for business school, and right out of business school, I started tech-based businesses, associations, and foundations. And so that's kind of my and created on the way a lot of great jobs and revenues. And that's what I think we need here. And we have an opportunity if we grab it. It's a window of opportunity. Patrick, I think we're at a really significant fork in terms of our future. One fork is going to take us down the road of socialism, where slowly our rights are eroded, government grows and grows, and our individual rights shrink, and it will end up depressing this area. And we only have to look to formerly wonderful cities like LA or Minneapolis to see what that looks like. The other path, which is the path that I'm proposing and have dedicated myself to is a thriving future that's built on attracting new tech-based businesses, keeping our talented young people here by giving them opportunities, but specifically in the trades. And I know you're part of blue collar media, and I started my career out of college as a mason's helper. So I really have a great appreciation for people who work in the trades. We need people who can build things, and you can have a great career building things. So yes, that's a future that I want. I don't want the socialist future. I want the free market thriving future.
Okay, so let me, if you got, like, we're going to have some of your opponents that are going to be on the show. They may say, you know what, we want a free market too, but we want everyone to have equal, let's say, equal opportunity rights, the equality argument, right?
Yeah.
And I've always said this, Chris. I love an equality of opportunity, but not an equality of outcome. And there is a big difference right here.
Yep.
And for me, when I look at the liberal left side, where I struggle is when you see that people are either given a handout, or it seems as though they believe their constituents aren't capable of doing it on their own if given the opportunity.
Yeah.
And for me, it's a stark difference between a conservative future and a more liberal leftist future.
Yeah.
And I hope that people see that, because I think that your opponents would paint you as detached from the reality of the guy making $35,000 a year right now. But it sounds to me, and this is how I feel, you are more in touch with what's going to bring that guy to making six figures than what those other individuals are.
I think so. At one point in my life, as a teen, I lived on the streets for a period of time. At one point, I had $5 in my bank account, and the government didn't help me. It was just hard work, the grace of God, and opportunities that I pursued that took me forward. And I think that's the American dream. And I think the government's job is to really get out of the way of entrepreneurs and people who are trying to become successful, and kind of help create conditions that foster that growth. So, for example, our trade program, we have this program we're calling Orange County Works, which is to provide a subsidized trade school education to everybody from junior year in high school on through middle ages who wants one, is qualified, can get into a trade school. But once you get that degree and that job, you have to pay half of it back. You have to have skin in the game. Because if you just get a handout, you don't value it. If you have to work towards getting it, you do value it.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. So I've got a call today, everybody. So forgive me. Thank you for doing this live.
Yeah.
Anthony, I've got my cough back. Oh man, live show, everyone.
Hey, you're a real guy, right? With real challenges.
Yeah, so I sit here. No, I'm addicted to these. Is why I do it. I was going to say I drink these because I got a cough, but not the case at all. It's because I'm addicted. Forgive me. Okay. Yeah, I agree. Get out of the way. That's what government needs to do.
Yeah.
And you need to foster an environment that allows for private industry to move its way in.
Yeah.
That to me is the most important thing. Let's talk about safety, as I can't breathe.
Yeah.
Sorry, everybody. I'm so sorry.
Be sure you don't want to talk about healthcare. No,
yeah, right?
Just kidding.
So I'll tell you. Let's talk about safety, though.
Sure.
Because there has to be a relationship between the Orange County mayor and the sheriff.
Yeah.
We've got Mina in office right now. I've been a little bit critical of Ice Cream Mina over here, as I've said before. Ice cream, whatever. But let's talk about his force. I think we both can agree that it's been undermanned and probably under budget. I mean, it's been underserved when it comes to budget.
Yeah. That's quite possible. There are some metrics about how many police officers, law enforcement officers you need for a population. And so it's I think the sheriff's department is a little bit under the advised metrics. I know a number of people in the police, the Orange County Sheriff's Office in particular, also in Orlando Police Department. And by and large, they are really hardworking, great men and women that want to see a safe city. But they also want to know that the county, the DA, the state's attorneys all have their backs. And I'm not sure that's necessarily the case.
So Mina is an appointed position, or not appointed,
it's
he's an elected position.
Yeah.
So what I look for is, have you talked with someone like that? Have you talked with Mina about some of your ideas as a conservative?
I talked with him in passing.
Okay.
And you know, obviously, if once I'm elected,
yeah,
with the help of your audience, we'll have much more serious conversations. But there are some things we specifically need to address.
Tell me.
Yeah. So one is, according to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, Greater Orange County is third in child sex trafficking. Now, that should not be the case. And we need to work together with our law enforcement entities, the Orange County Sheriff's Department, the local police departments, and federal entities to make sure that we attack that scourge head on.
I don't know how anybody in their right mind could disagree with that.
Yeah.
What we also need, though, is that when those arrests happen, we have district attorneys in place that are going to prosecute these types of crimes. And I have been very critical on this show. Monique Worrell has been weak on crimes. And when I look at
she's very quick to release people.
Yeah. And everyone knows it.
Yeah.
And when you look at this county and when you look at this city, I'll be the one to say it. We need people that believe in consequences for wrong choices.
Yeah.
And if you are going to be the sicko who decides that you want to do anything to children, there needs to be a county here that says, never in our county.
Yeah. Yep.
And
amen.
I believe that we need strong leaders in place that are going to put a boot on that and just say, we're not allowing that here.
Absolutely. You know, from and literally right across the board, from young children all the way through to, there was a young man, a teenager in Apopka, who was beaten unconscious by 12 guys who jumped him. Just happened pretty recently. Now, those 12 folks that jumped him need to face serious consequences for doing that.
Yeah.
And you need to get on the right track. A lot of the problems that I think we see here is there's a lack of substantial parental guidance across the board. And, you know, one of the things that I've enjoyed doing and have been doing the past 3 years is being a volunteer football coach at a local Orange County school.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah. I was a mediocre football player back in the day. But I learned a few things along the way. And, you know, there are coaches all across Orange County that are really sewing into, you know, our young men and women, and my hat's off to them. And a lot of times I've seen that coaches are filling the role of parents where there are missing parents. And such an important thing. And that's something that, you know, my administration is really going to support the sports opportunities to make sure we have healthy outlets for our teens so that they can learn the discipline that goes with team sports. Also, you know, kind of blowing off steam that happens, and also guidance for life.
So I want to go back to one thing here, because you're involved with the youth. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you where I disagree with what our county and city has been doing.
Okay.
And then you tell me where you think the line is. All right.
Sure.
Someone like Monique Worrell has been weak on crime and constantly used the youth offender stat. You know, they're youth offenders. So I want to give, you know, they need a second chance. Youth offender. And so it's used as an excuse, in my opinion, for leniency, that somebody is young and somehow doesn't understand the consequences of their action. For me, it's very simple where the line is. Is there an aggravated crime, aggravated assault, battery, physical harm put on another person in any way? At that point, Chris, I say enough of this youth offender crap.
Yep.
When you have somebody who's in a high school at, let's say, 18, goes to a convenience store and makes a stupid decision because he wants to steal some beer or something like that for his friends. I get that. Youth offender, let's show the guy a little bit of not leniency. Okay, we all make mistakes. Okay, there's no one that was hurt in this crime.
Right.
That person gets behind a wheel, drives and kills somebody. Now we got a different story.
Yep.
And so I look at this youth offender crap all the time, and I see it all the time when leniency is handed down to people who are 20 years old.
Yeah.
Like somehow they were not capable of understanding the consequences to their decision.
Yeah.
You made a bad choice, and there needs to be stiff consequences. And that is where we've lost the way with this whole youth offender thing I see all the time.
Yeah.
You're involved with the youth. Does that make sense at all?
It makes total sense, because I think there is a division between a minor property crime and a attack on a person.
Yeah.
I mean, those are fundamentally different things, and I think they should be treated accordingly. I would agree with you that there should be leniency for small property crime, but the first time.
Yeah.
Then the second or the third time, then really has to ramp up, because that person hasn't learned their lesson. But with a attack on a person, no. If you have leniency, what you're saying is, it's okay because of your circumstances, you can go harm another person.
Yeah.
No, that's not acceptable. And we need leadership that treats that as unacceptable.
That's right. I couldn't listen. Me and you're on the same page on this one. And that leads me to my next question. We got the hat on. I appreciate you supporting Orlando. No. And I think that's how we begin to fix Orlando, is accountability back into a city. I have been critical of OPD, but I've also shown them some love at times.
Yeah.
I believe that the downtown center of Orange County has lost its way.
Totally.
I think anybody who drives down I-4 right now and looks over at Orlando and the city as you drive through it sees no cranes, no progress. I got skyscrapers going up. I'm looking for those condominiums that are 1.5 million. I want to see them. And then I'll get pushback from, we need affordable housing. Listen, you throw in affordable housing in the downtown right now with no economy to support it, what you're going to get is not affordable housing. You're going to get a dump.
Yeah.
And so then I go down, Chris, and I go to Miami last weekend.
I know it's buzzing.
It's buzzing.
Yeah.
The cranes are everywhere. It's going up Jacksonville, down in Jacksonville along the river. Same thing. A thriving entertainment district. Tampa, sprawling and growing.
Yeah.
We've lost our way in Orlando.
We don't have any vision here. That's a fundamental problem.
Yeah.
It takes vision there's a saying, the vision moves people's souls. There's also a saying right out of the Bible, where there is no vision, the people perish. And we're seeing it. No one has a vision for what Greater Orlando could be. And that's actually why I felt called, because I had that vision and I talk about that vision. And someone has said to me, well, what if I was interviewed by NPR, and they said, well, what if you don't get the Space Academy here, or your plan's going to collapse? And I'm like, no, because the vision, first of all, you need to cast a vision, and then you need to execute on it, and good things will follow.
Couldn't agree with you more. And I don't think you're a guy who say, I didn't get that, so now I'm going to give up right here.
I met with the Dreamers baseball team recently.
Just writing this down.
That's so funny.
I said, how about baseball?
Yeah.
Tell me.
And one of the things I admire about the leadership group is they were told no, and they went back, refined their plans, and they've moved forward. Yeah. And now they're moving forward. And I've talked to them, and I told them, I said, I will support you if you can find a way for the citizens of Orange County to have the opportunity to participate, not only psychically, but financially, in your success. Okay. And to their credit, they're considering that.
Yeah.
And that makes total sense to me. And hey, here are some guys with a vision. They keep at it. Orlando's built on a vision. Walt Disney had the vision, right?
I agree.
And so that's it. And that, which is what I shared with this lady from NPR. And I said, that's how we got started here. This is the city of vision, and I want us to be known for that again.
Got a question right here about the Sunrail. Thanks a lot there. So Sunrail on this one, you've got a pretty good stance, I think, against Sunrail, unless it can do something. Talk to us about the Sunrail.
It needs to be profitable. So right now, the estimates are that to make Sunrail, to have all the connections to get it profitable, $1.4 billion. That's way too much money. And so I like trains. Actually, I've driven on trains a lot. There's one train segment in the entire United States that's profitable. I've been on it. It's the Acela connection between Boston and New York. And
makes sense.
Yeah. but the rest of it's not profitable. Brightline's defaulting on their bonds. And so my view on trains is I believe we're one technological innovation away from having trains be really successful form of mass transit. And what I mean by this is the way Elon Musk and SpaceX changed the economics of space launches was by recapturing the first and second stages, because they used to be thrown into the ocean and $20 million on that one, $30 million on that one. Said no, we can reuse these. And so by reusing them, totally changed the economics and made it much more financially attractive. And right now, SpaceX's first $1 trillion IPO, right? And so we need to do the same thing in trains. I haven't focused on the technology of trains, but I know somebody out there has. We need an innovation that makes trains economically affordable, and that will totally change the dynamic. And then Sunrail will be profitable. It will expand. Brightline will be profitable. Maybe they'll merge. And so that's what we're waiting for.
It's sad when it comes to the Brightline, because anybody who's rode the Brightline, it's pretty damn convenient.
And it's nice. The trains are nice.
They do a nice job.
It's
never like packed. Maybe every now and then when you're going down for the World Cup, it got a little bit busy. But I'm telling you, folks, I mean, if you haven't ridden the Brightline, it's a good deal. You can get some work done. You got the internet in there. I sit down there, my laptop or something if I got to travel. It's a good deal. I want to go back to Orlando here, because you said a vision for Orlando is what's missing right now. And that's the heart of Orange County. Everybody, we are here with Chris Messina, conservative candidate for mayor of Orange County. If you're watching, please go ahead and hit us with a question. We just got one about the Sunrail. Want to get more, please interact. We would love to ask your questions. Myself and Anthony are monitoring these right now. We talk about fixing Orlando. Tell me some steps that you take. We've got a Chris Messina administration that comes in. What are you doing to turn this city around, to help turn the city around? Because I know you're not the only one. We got a mayor of Orlando. But what are you doing to help turn the city around?
Well, number one is that the Orange County and the city, the Orlando leadership, Orange County leadership, the Orlando leadership, and the businesses around Church Street have to revitalize it. There's no city that is really truly vibrant without a great downtown. I mean, you look at Nashville's downtown. That's a thriving place that people go to. In Orlando, people don't go to our downtown. They might go to a game at the Kia Center or maybe a game at Camping World Stadium, but they don't spend time in between. There's the area in between. There's a lot of drugs, and it's just there's not a vibrant community along Church Street. But I know there's some really innovative business owners and business executives who have some big visions, and some of whom come immediately from that community, which is the Paramore community, who have big plans to see that area revitalized. And so we need to make sure that with flexible zoning, maybe promoting some creative financing, that area is redeveloped.
Well, our current administration believes that to revitalize downtown, we should basically dig up 500 feet of Church Street and pay $5.2 million to get it done.
I think you said that was $10,000 a square foot.
So some I don't know, a firm walked in there and just laughed their way out to a dinner at Eddie V's, and we're just cheersing it up on the county dime. Now, I want to show this, everybody. I'm going to show you, maybe Anthony, if we could show it like afterwards. I'm not sure. I want to show that diagram that I sent you. And I just want to get your opinion about this, okay? Because this is mind-blowing to me, Anthony, if you can put it up. I'm not sure if you can. I'll show you right here. We got some people that are joining. And then, Anthony, if you can put it up when you're ready, just let me know when you got it up. I got you. And then I'll see it in a delay over to here, but I'll go ahead and bring it up here for you, okay? And when you're ready to play it, I'll play it on my end, everybody. Because this is just mind-numbing to me. When people think that I'm exaggerating, Anthony, on how much the city got ripped off, this is the kind of stuff they need you, Chris. They need someone who's actually sat there at a negotiating table and had to balance the budget and go, I got payroll, I got expenses, I got operating, I got sales, I got taxes over here. These are all things that crush a small business, as we know, or, allow you to succeed. And when I see contracts that are levied for something like this, Anthony, I go, what the heck were people thinking? Tell me when you got it up. I'll play it on my end here.
Give me a second. It's just glitching right now. Spinning wheel of death.
So I can fill in on a little bit on this. So one of the things that unfortunately the county has done and the city have done in the past is give out these kind of no bid, no competitive contracts to people who are politically connected. And so one that I've talked about, and even the Sentinel, the Orlando Sentinel newspaper, which is left of center, has picked up on, is there was a contract that was given out to a politically connected spouse to educate senior citizens on how to use a computer. She educated 30 senior citizens total, and at a cost of $300,000. That's $10,000 per enrollee for something that should have cost $150, not been done by the county, but at some adult school.
Whose wife is getting that deal?
Yeah, you can look it up on the Sentinel actually name names.
Or Anthony, once we got this,
not that I'm promoting the Sentinel, but
Anthony, let's look up this article and who is teaching kids for $30,000 a pop.
It was seniors.
Seniors,
and most seniors I know how to use a computer.
Just the oversight on some of this crap is unbelievable to me, and that's what pisses people off, though, Chris.
Of course,
because people hear about this stuff and they go, Not in my life. I don't get that kind of break.
Yeah.
Like, where's somebody walking through the door to give me a $300,000 grant to keep my business afloat?
No, and non-competitive, where you don't have to compete with somebody. That's a good deal if you can get it, but it's terrible. It's terrible for the Orange County citizens.
Unbelievable. Yeah, because average citizens hear about these numbers and they go, "What the?" And then the average person looks at it and goes, well, all right, sucks, but I guess there's nothing I can do about it. Yeah. And I think one of the reasons that our show resonates with people is that I kind of look at things, and I think you as somebody would do the same and go, I don't know all the details, but I can put two and two together, and common sense tells me that's a bad deal.
Yeah.
I don't need to know everything about how you rip up a street or how you build a park or how you fund a police department to go, something ain't working here.
Yeah, those numbers don't add up. Yeah, right.
There's a feeling to some things like that, right?
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of people have felt that for a while. Anthony, if you can get it up, then no. If not, then no. Okay. So I'm just going to show you this. We'll show it in the afterwards. Okay. We'll show it maybe in the short form here. But Chris, when I look at this right here, I look at I-4.
Yeah.
Then we've got 55 West, and that 500 feet of street right there. That's like 500 feet. That right there is costing the city $5.2 million.
That seems extreme.
It's extreme.
Yeah.
And so I look at this, and the average person goes, hold up, whoa. Hold on. We're stomping some curbs and digging up some bricks.
And what are we going to get out of it?
Oh, you're going to get nothing.
Right. So that's a corollary question that has to be asked.
Right. And then when I look at this, I go, okay, all right, Chris, like, maybe we've got some saving grace that we can have here.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what I see last night. And for those of you, can we get this one up, Anthony? Can't get anything up right now? All right. That's fine. So we can't get that up right now. So let's go ahead and go over to my profile, and I'll show you, Chris.
Okay.
I'm live right now, but I'm going to go to, oh, come on. Let me exit out of this. For those of you who don't know, we do this show live, everybody. So we got to kind of sometimes deal with some technical difficulties here, okay? Downtown. There it is. It's going to pop right up. Come on, y'all. Keep it up for me, okay? Please. Yes. So then they come out with this one. We're going to watch this video, bro. And I'm just going to get your reaction to this in real time. I want you to hear it. I don't want to say anything. And for the viewers, we'll try to put this in some of the short form. Right, Anthony? Here we go. Here, I don't say anything. And for the viewers, we'll try to put this in some of the short form. There we go. 1 second here. This is coming out yesterday. What the are we doing? What is this?
But
Like, what are we trying to do here?
it looks like we're trying to create YouTube stars and not solve real problems.
It's unbelievable to me.
Yeah.
Like the tone deafness that this department has to have.
Yeah.
When we talk about it, right? There's no small businesses, 17 small businesses in downtown Orlando have closed their doors since January.
Because no one's going down.
No.
No one's going down there. It's the young people. We have a number of young people on our team, and they say we don't go to downtown anymore. It's not safe and it's not fun.
No.
And if young people aren't willing to do that, what about, middle-aged people or couples, families, are you going to have date night downtown? No.
Absolutely. And then you hear about
you should be able to. If you go to Nashville, do you have date night downtown? Yeah, you do.
Yep. And so I'm sitting here and people send me this stuff, Chris. Like we talk about it on the show, and you look at this and you go, okay, so many people have lost their livelihood, brother.
Yeah.
And then these individuals have the nerve to go out there and do some kind of music video to it. They're being paid by taxpayer dollars to do it. And then to be that tone deaf with these people that their livelihoods have been ruined by the decisions of the city of Orlando.
Yep.
And then to go do that screams that there is just such a disconnect from what citizens feel and what the city and the county are doing, which is why I'm excited that you have an opportunity to come in there and fix it. Because for me, I get worked up, man.
No, me too.
This city deserves better than kids.
We do.
We need adults to make adult decisions. And whoever approved this from the city, which I look forward to finding out, you're a moron. You're a moron. Okay. Because what it does is it's such a slap in the face to citizens and small business owners, and I get so worked up.
It trivializes the challenges. Yeah.
Who are you?
Yeah.
You know what? I get that you're some intern or crap like that, but that street is closed for real small businesses right now, regardless of what you're doing. You didn't tell me anything about the street being open for businesses. Besides, like that to me, let's make a real post to try to help these businesses out that it's open and you can still frequent those places.
Yeah.
It's just
because you have 17
disrespect.
Businesses that have lost their ability to provide for their families.
You have, man.
And then so I completely agree.
I know what that feels like to lose a business. It feels like you've lost a part of yourself.
Yeah.
And when you have a city that obviously doesn't take it seriously, it filters down through the leadership and then like district level managers and to employees like this who they just don't get it. And that's why I'm excited. We've got Chris Messina, the conservative candidate for Orange County, about the opportunity to get in here and fix some of this right now. Let's talk about more. Okay, so how do we get it safer? You mentioned a minute ago. I've had Chief Smith on the show. I was very happy with what I saw last week from OPD. They put out a little marketing video of them breaking up fights and stuff. I'm like, all right, let's send a message, right?
Yeah.
How do we work? We talked about businesses.
Yeah.
Talk about the safety of downtown. How do we approach that one, brother?
Well, I think the first thing is we have to start calling out that it's unsafe, and which you're doing, which I've been doing, and others are doing, and that puts public pressure and media pressure on the law enforcement agencies to step up. But then there's the back end, which is that we have to make sure that crimes are prosecuted appropriately. And that's the part that isn't happening right now. And that there really needs to be a step up to see Greater Orlando be a safer place, be a place that people want to go downtown.
So tell me what you think about this. Here's my point. I pushed back on this with Anna Escamani, who was on the show a couple weeks ago. I believe there is a fundamental difference between the individual who is homeless downtown and the mistakes that person has made. Because I believe everybody has three decisions, choices, or circumstances from being where that man or woman is. I never lack empathy.
Yeah.
There's a difference between that person and the 20-year-old who chooses to drive downtown and cause problems.
Yeah.
And to me, there is leniency I have for the person passing through, sleeping on a bench. I get that. I want to help that person. Okay. I do not care about the person. I do not care about the result of that person getting leniency on a sentence. If they make a conscious choice as an adult to go make a bad decision. I had to go to prison a couple times when I was in 20s. All right. Bad fights, being stupid as a youth, and I did that. I learned a lesson by having to pay a penalty.
Yep.
All right. And that's what I did in life. I paid my price. All
and
right.
look at you now. You have a very successful business.
I appreciate it.
But
I believe that people learn through consequences for your actions.
Right.
And I want to just separate, and I want you to talk about the person who's mental illness, down on their luck. That person we all can get behind. I want to get you better. I want to put you in a place where you can at least be healthy and whatever. And then the person who makes bad choices. How do you balance the two right there?
That's a really profound and great question. But there are accidental consequences. So many people. So if we're talking about people who are homeless, many of them are homeless because of circumstances of life they had no control over. A death in the family, a sudden illness. These kinds of things you don't control when you get sick. You don't control when your spouse dies, right? So that creates what's called episodic homelessness. And I have tremendous empathy. And sometimes that does lead, that kind of sense of desperation or loneliness leads to then bad choices, let's say, to get involved with drugs or alcohol, which leads to other bad choices. So 100%, we need to have a continuum of help that comes alongside those folks and moves them towards self-sufficiency and emotional independence. And that's a process, and I realize and I totally empathize with that. Now, if having a kid who goes down with the idea of like the kids who went over and took over Icon Park, I mean, they were going down because they thought it'd be fun to basically, rock up the place. And it's unfortunate because I don't think enough of them learn the consequence of their action. And so they're not learning life lessons that when you do play stupid games, get stupid prizes. Right. And so we need to have more consequences for those guys. I'll give you an example straight from my football team. So really admire our head coach at the school I coach football at. We were going to the state playoffs one year. There was a guy on the team. He was a starting lineman, a good lineman, a strong lineman, a fast lineman. And he cheated for second or third time on some tests right before the state playoffs, threw him off the team. So he would learn, because it was more important to the coaching staff that I worked with, that he learned a life lesson than for us to win that state championship game.
And then in addition to that, the other players see that.
Oh,
and so if you allow as a coach for that to fester in your organization, it's just like a rotten apple. It makes everything else rotten around it.
It does.
I look at this with my employees too. Like you've run businesses, you understand this. If I allow something to go and my employees see that, I don't have a standard anymore. You only have a standard when somebody actually breaks the rule, right? It's real easy to have a bunch of standards when everyone's doing what you want. But as soon as things start to go south, that's when standards matter. When things are difficult.
You have to have standards with your kids. This maybe sound like a trivial thing, but I'm trying to help my son lose weight. And I promised him if he had a certain weight level by a certain time, that I would take him to this concert in Tampa with this band he really wanted to see, right? And he didn't make it. And I actually really wanted to see the band too.
Nice. I love the honesty.
But he didn't make it. And so I'm like, sorry, buddy, we can't do it. You knew the parameters, so it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I believe that is something, you're right. Sending a message that there are consequences to your action when you do bad things in Orange County and in the city of Orlando, greater, that is where it starts. And when people talk about, you're not taking into account the disenfranchised. I don't care where you came from. I don't care the color of your skin. I care about the choices that you make. If you make bad choices, there will be consequences. There should be in the city and in the county. And I'm going to tell you what happens when that starts to be done is that people get the message. People talk. They go, "Hey, you hear what happened?" No, I ain't doing that. I don't want any part of that.
Right.
But when word gets out and there's a feeling, we talked about it earlier, when you have the feeling of something. The feeling around Orange County and Orlando right now is weak on crime. Not prosecuting.
Yeah.
And then we have a downtown that's overrun with people that don't care at all about the businesses down there.
And
That's
don't
like
have
a
any
feeling.
consequences.
Yeah.
It's more than it's like that rock song, right? More than a feeling. It's more than a feeling. It's the reality. And we need to change that.
We do. We
Yeah.
absolutely do. We've talked about police. We've talked about how we get economic development into there. What other things, and I love the idea about the tech side. We need it. We need higher paying jobs because we're at the very bottom and people don't realize that median income.
Yeah.
What are the other plans that I'm missing before I jump into some projects? I'd love to get your opinion
about. Sure. Well, one of the big ones is we've got to redevelop the blighted strip malls we have up and down our major arteries. We're talking, we need affordable housing. Well, we have places that are perfect for mixed income and mixed uses, the retail, commercial, and housing, all up and down our major arteries like Colonial, like OBT, Orange Avenue. It's estimated there are 120 strip malls that are largely vacant across Orange County, and that's a blight. You don't see that. A thriving city doesn't have that. So let's get those redeveloped. And so my view is that we need to be very proactive and calling developers and builders in to discuss, hey, what do we need to do? How can the government, kind of get out of your way, facilitate this so these areas can be redeveloped? And that'll solve three problems simultaneously. One, it will provide for housing which we're short of, right? And particularly entry-level housing. Number two is it will reduce congestion on the roads because people will be living near where they're working.
Yeah.
Number three is we'll get rid of these areas that are blights on their community.
Yeah. I love that. I never thought about strip malls.
Yeah. Well, see, I have a background. I have a master's in city planning as a Rotary Fellow. Yeah. That's part of my educational background. And so people look at those and say, why? And I'm looking at those like, the JF Kennedy quote, say, why not? Well, why we have a foundation, we have sewer, electric, water here. We're on main transportation lines. We're in a urban center. Let's have a priority to redevelop these.
Yeah. My thought about, and you're better at this than me, so let's walk through it ignorantly if you can with me.
I wouldn't call you ignorant at all.
Whether it be an Anna Escamani or yourself, I hear these words. I'm not trying to compare you both, but when I see redeveloping or revitalizing commercial areas and what might be affordable housing or places that might be transitional housing, right?
Yeah.
What I get concerned about, Chris, is that becomes the main focus of that area.
It shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be, right?
No.
I think that one of the this is a big difference between, I think, conservatives and liberals out there.
Yeah.
You tell me. I'm guessing here. Is that I believe that when you are liberal, you look at this and go, here, let's give affordable housing. Affordable housing. You go to your
have a big complex.
Cool.
Right.
I look at it. I look at the first thing to do is let's get high-paying jobs and then move in the affordable housing so that you give somebody the opportunity to move their way up.
Bingo.
Right? Like this to me is where it's like the difference.
Yeah.
Do you give a handout or do you give a handout with an expectation of doing more with your life?
Right.
And so if we can get higher paying jobs into Orange County and Orlando, we can filter in, we can funnel in small business owners who want to take an opportunity and a risk on themselves.
Right.
Then what they will do is hire people, pay them a good wage, and bring them out of that transitional housing.
Exactly.
But if there's nobody to hire that individual, they stay in transitional housing or they get back on the streets.
You're spot on. Without a good job, there is no upward mobility and everything is unaffordable. If you have a good job, lots of things are affordable. I mean, that's fundamentally it. And interestingly, I was at a forum on homelessness and housing, and I was one of the few, if not the only conservative there. And I was the only person to talk about the importance of jobs, of having people advance, because fundamentally that's what it is. Your good job allows you to build generational wealth, allows you to hire other people so they can build generational wealth and lifts your whole community up.
Gives you purpose too.
Oh yeah. It does. Like so much of like the way you feel when you have a good interview program or the way I feel when something goes well in a business that I'm in, or a good job brings not only income and provides for your family, but it gives meaning to life too.
There's so much purpose in it.
Yeah.
I think that, again, if I was going to say one of the big differences right now in this country between a liberal leftist and a conservative on the right,
yeah,
I think that the liberal person goes, you know what? We need an easy life. I want to give you what you need. I want to make sure your needs are met. I want to give you what, you shouldn't have to want for anything. We need everything basic met for that person. And I think a conservative on the right goes, I need to put things into place that gives you an opportunity to go get those things if you want them.
Right.
And if you choose not to, that's a you thing now.
Yep.
And when I look around the country right now, I'm reminded of something that happened, at the University of Florida. I remember going as a freshman, okay? I'm in the class with Tim Tebow, of all things. We were in hospitality. I was going to come here to Orlando and run hotels for a living.
Okay.
Professor stands up in a humanities class, and he says, about 400 people in the class, and he says, I'll tell you what, everybody, start showing some things that are going on across the country. And there were some starving people that he showed over in like other parts of the world.
Right.
And you could tell he had planned this because inevitably he asked a question and somebody said, well, there are starving people here in America, to which he knew what he was doing. And he said, all right, everybody, here's my deal. Many of you will have me for maybe 6 to 8 more courses here at UF. So I'm going to make you the same deal I make with others. If any of you can find a starving American and take a picture of that individual, time-stamped for right now, this class, and bring it to me, you will have an A in this course and every other course you have to take with me and never have to come to my course ever again. And I was like, huh? And of course, people started, well, I'm just going to go to the guy at the dumpster right down the street. And he made a point. He said, starving. He was like the picture I showed you right there.
Yeah, yeah.
Not a guy who's sitting there and has some raggedy clothes on, who's there at the light getting money.
Yeah.
I'm talking about a starving American. And so the point he was making is that as a country, we have set a floor that is well above the floor of other countries that we have.
So true.
And there is opportunity if somebody wants to go grab it right now.
Yeah.
And I think that when I look at the way the liberals are running the city, Democrats are running the city right now, compared to how you would, it's not a handout, but it's saying, hey, you know what? You can do more.
Yeah.
I believe that you can do more with yourself. And you probably preach this to kids that you coach ball with.
Yeah.
You can do more than you think
absolutely.
you can do.
Absolutely.
That, man, that's building people. That's getting more out of somebody.
Yeah, and it doesn't necessarily have to involve college. That's why we're so big on providing a kind of a entry into the trades. But you have a stake in it. You've got to pay half of that back. So we're not going to hand that to you. But hey, you're good with your hands. We need people who are good with their hands, and you can build a really nice career. A third-year plumber on average with their certification makes $100,000 a year. That's a great wage. You can support a family. You can build generational wealth with that.
And then you go and you start your own plumbing.
And then you start your own plumbing business. And, I was this morning before I came here, I had breakfast with a self-made, businessman who's very successful building septic businesses.
I love it. I used to do collections for brownies.
Okay. So there you go. Just think the world would stop without those kinds of businesses.
Couldn't agree more. I have such an immense, obviously, because we work with blue collar businesses. I would not go to college if I could do it all over again now. If I was graduating today, I would not go to college.
Yeah.
To me, it was a waste of money because of how I used it. I used it as a party school. I used it as a fraternity, going to UF, living it up type thing. I didn't take my education seriously, and I would have learned more by being a line cook at Applebee's than I would have by going to UF. I don't use any of that. I use life skills here.
Yeah. Well, those are the most important. Life skills are. My oldest daughter is at UF, and she's working. She's working really hard. But to her credit, she's taking her schooling extremely seriously.
And I didn't.
Yeah, and she's in an engineering program, which is
very competitive.
Yeah. So I'm proud of her. But there are a lot of kids that go to school and go to college after high school because they don't think of any other opportunity. But there are other opportunities. There's opportunities in the trade. There are opportunities with the military. There are opportunities with first responders, police and firefighters.
Okay.
And so we need talented young people to go into all those fields and want really people who are listening to your show to know there are opportunities for your young people, and I want to make sure that we have those, right, a lot of those right here in Central Florida, so that one day our kids, our grandkids, can live here and live here well and have their own kids, and so we can look down from heaven and see
It'd be nice.
Yeah,
I'll tell you, because you're right. I mean, generational wealth is very important, not just for your family, but as a man or as a woman, you feel
right.
great because you're contributing to your family. And
Yeah,
there's something about that. There's a real responsibility that you feel when
yeah,
that starts to be a part of your life, that you feel like, you know what, I could do this.
yeah.
Hope is a powerful thing.
Oh, it's
Um,
so important.
and I want to see more people with hope.
Yeah,
And I think that the way you give people hope is by you show them, as you said, a vision of what they could become.
yeah,
And then you say, hey, here's that vision, go get it. And
absolutely.
I think I've said this before, and you'll be interested in this one, Chris. I'm going to kind of a little bit off topic.
Yeah, it's good. No, go for it.
I think one of the most, if not the most powerful things a man can have in his life is a woman who believes in him more than he believes in himself. Because there will come a time when you're an entrepreneur.
Yeah,
Like, will come a time when you're taking risk
yeah,
that you're going to go, I don't know if I got it in me.
yeah,
Like, I don't know if I can go one more round.
yeah.
And it's so powerful when you got somebody who says, you know what? It's okay to fail, not okay to give up.
Yep.
If you can get that, right? That's a powerful thing.
Yeah.
And in some ways, surely the government is no spouse. But wouldn't it be nice to feel like, hey, listen, you know what? I got a people around me. I've got opportunities in front of me that say, hey, I don't think that you're stuck where you're at.
Right.
If you go do this, this, and this, you can do it and make good choices.
Exactly.
It's like giving them a vision to say, I do believe in you. Here's what you can do. All you got to do is go out there and execute the play.
Exactly. And in sort of the mirror of that is the vision for the county, the vision for the metro area. So if we have a big vision for a metro area, that empowers a big vision for the individuals in the community,
Absolutely.
and so I actually have to give a shout out here to my amazing wife, Julie, because since you mentioned, I do have a woman like that in my life.
That's beautiful. It hits for you, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, that's good.
You're getting me emotional because it does. Because people, you don't understand. If you're not an entrepreneur, I'm talking to entrepreneurs, but also every man who's been through in his life, bankruptcy, divorce, like all these terrible things. You've had to fire people, businesses have closed.
Yeah.
You've been
people saying
lawsuit against you. If
you've
had any of this stuff, I'm telling you, I don't care. You're not immune. And I get a lot of negative. You do for what you. And at some point, you start to question yourself, and you go, "Am I doing this right?"
Yeah.
And then you get someone behind you who goes, "You know what? Yeah, you are."
Yeah, and I believe in you.
I believe in you.
Yeah.
I've said before, the most powerful words a woman can tell a man are, "I'm proud of you."
Yeah.
And watch a guy run through a wall.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you have someone like
that.
that.
Yeah, I do. And I resonate with what you're saying, because that is true. To have somebody, you're in the public eye a lot. Now I'm thrust myself in, or I've been pulled into the public eye. And, there are times where it's exhausting. And, just having somebody, give you that support, it really means a lot. And I'm also a person of faith, so I'm really drawing my faith as well.
It's beautiful, man.
Yeah.
I got a couple more questions, everybody.
Sure.
We've got Chris Messina here. He is a conservative candidate for Orange County Mayor. Please ask questions. We've got him for another 10 minutes or so right here. Got a few more questions I want to get to you, okay? Thanks so much for joining us here. For the most part, you and I have agreed on a lot. I need to turn to something that for many conservatives, I don't agree with.
Okay.
I talked to Jay Collins about this last week.
Yeah.
Was it last week on the show, brother? Or 2 weeks? Last week. Data centers, these data centers, right? Eatonville, I mean, you can drive past on an I-4 if you want to take a look at a recent one that went up, everybody. I continue to be a proponent for data centers for one reason only. Not because I don't value our environment, the water, I get all the electricity, I get it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out how or where there is an alternative. If everyone in Florida is saying no data centers, hey, listen, my Claude has still got to work. My AI has still got to advance. We want Florida to be a place where we have tech that is welcome here. I'm concerned if we keep on being that state that says, no, 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 that tech is going to look at Florida unfavorably. And we've been very good at recruiting, not in Orange County, but other places. We've been very good at recruiting tech with good paying jobs. You know more about this world than I do.
Sure.
Where am I getting it wrong, Chris? Because I defer to you.
Yeah. So first of all, I don't think hyperscale data centers, which is what we're talking about, giant data centers, have to be located in Florida for Florida to have a very successful tech industry.
Okay.
So that's the first thing. The second thing, and then I'll tell you where I think they could be located. The second thing is, my concern is not so much with the power, because literally, under the president, they're saying, sure, build your data centers, but you have to provide your own power, which I think is a smart move. Right. So there will be self-sufficient on power, whether it's small scale nuclear or, a small clean coal plant next to it. Okay, so that's fine. The issue is with the water. And the reason the issue is with the water, and I know because our IT company, we host in 2 large hyperscale data centers, one in Arizona and one in Massachusetts.
Okay.
And I've been in them when I've been in one when it had a catastrophe. And the way they're cooled is by massive amounts of water. They're not cooled by Freon or and that in order for the water to flow through the pipes, they have to put a lot of additives to it to keep it going, to reduce the boiling point. So there's ethylene glycol. There are herbicides, to kill any potential algae growth. And so all those additives, that water ends up going. So it's ostensibly a closed loop, but it's not 100% closed loop with the water system. So then it's going to go back into the, into our aquifer. And that's my big concern so it's a concern about water. Now, what I think is brilliant is an idea that Elon Musk has floated, which is, let's put these in space.
Yeah, I agree.
Because space, you're near absolute zero. One of the big problems with these data centers is they generate massive amounts of heat, because you literally have racks of computers in cages, and every cage is filled with racks it's like a floor. Could you imagine a floor of 10,000 servers?
Right.
And so when the air conditioning breaks, it's super hot.
Right.
So anyway, so that's my view.
You're focused on not in Florida, and the concern is the water. The solution is space.
Yeah, the solution is space.
Okay, so let's work through this then.
Yeah,
because we have
and we can launch them into space from Florida.
Now there you go. Especially if we get the tech into here, right?
Yeah.
My concern though is what I've heard about these data centers is that you need the fiber cable, to be able to utilize them at a high speed. Now I could be wrong. I'm doing Chat GPT searches. I'm not that's why I'm looking to you.
Yeah.
Do you think they could be effective? Let's just say we dropped the data center in the middle of the ocean. I don't know. I'm just saying. Or into space. They can be effective at that length. Is that what we're hearing?
Well, I know that the data transmission from space has been really refined in terms of the amount of data that can be piped through from space. Starlink is doing it now. So we need to utilize that technology. It probably I'm not fully versant on the technical limitations of space Starlink type transmission versus a big fiber optic cable. So there may be I just want to concede there may be a point where a land-based system is faster, but I don't think it's going to be significantly faster.
My challenge to you as an office, you become Orange County mayor, which God willing, then I guess it's just I hear so much. It's so easy right now to play one side. It's so easy to side with it and go play tough guy against data centers because it's the mean IT company. And I get that side, and I'm not saying they're good for the environment. Just like I'm saying if you put a nuclear plant, something could go wrong. Eventually, though, I say, hey guys, I got it. We got to quickly move towards that other solution right now.
Yeah. So if we could solve the water problem,
Yes.
I would be okay with them.
Yep.
But I'm not. But right now, I don't see a solution in sight.
Okay. That worries me because I want there to be that solution to the problem, which everybody, it's great to sit there and go, no jobs, because not a lot of jobs come from them. We know that.
They don't generate a lot of jobs.
Minuscule. In fact, someone just made that comment. Minuscule how much jobs you get from them.
Yeah, I've been through them. A massive data center. So our data center in Somerville, Massachusetts, probably employs 10 to 20 people.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not ours. It's CoreSite, but we lease space from somebody.
I get it. And that's how I think that a lot of people will be surprised. Like, what do these data centers do? Well, your ChatGPT, your Claudes, your others, smaller outfits.
Yeah,
they're renting spaces to be able to provide the services that you use every day.
Yeah.
You want that Domino's app to work like it does?
Yeah.
You know what? You need data centers.
Yeah.
Or you need somewhere where they can actually rent the spaces, companies that's affordable.
Your website is hosted on one of these. Yeah.
So I just caution people that, hey, we've got to look at both sides of this one right now.
Yeah.
All right. Final two questions here for you. This one's coming from our audience, of course. Pharma. All right.
Yeah.
We have a big senior population, obviously, in Orange County. We're in Florida.
Sure.
I've tried to go get some. I had to get a prescription for Xanax of all things. Okay. Because Lord knows my anxiety's been up doing this. All right. I know it's not good for me, everybody, but I did it. All right. I bit the bullet, and it's helped me out a lot when it comes to sleeping. But prescription prices, man, like, holy crap.
Yeah.
Right. And I think the average person, and you answer this however you want, when they think about where the waste is, they look at something like going to the hospital. They get a bill. They look at that bill for an emergency room visit, and it's $100,000. And they go, holy crap. Right. And then they feel like they're saved by their insurance company, who comes in and all of a sudden the bill is a few hundred or whatever.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
But I think to myself, I'm like, isn't there a lot of waste here? Isn't something going wrong? What can you do at the county level to help seniors and just young people who are living paycheck to paycheck afford medications for them and their children?
So it would be really probably more providing information, because that problem is one that's really a national problem in scope. But there's a big move for healthcare prices to be published, like how much it costs to have a surgery, what's the average cost. And so that's where I think, through the county health department, we can be a valued information broker to provide that information into the community. Another challenge is for people with special needs. It's very hard to navigate, to figure out like what kind of benefits can you get, or what's the best treatment option for your child. And so there's also an information brokerage need that could be provided, and I think should be provided by the county health department.
I'm a pro-life guy, okay? And I'm bringing this full circle on why I'm saying this.
So
you can't be pro-life unless you're also pro-support for people that are going to have a child that has special needs. Okay, because a lot of times on the left, what they will say is, well, you know what? The quality of life that person's going to have with special needs is not going to be there. I adamantly disagree wholeheartedly. Okay. Every life is valuable. And I look at this and I go, it's a blessing, not a curse. All right. I am so adamant about that. All right. I'm not going to budge on this one. Okay. Now, can I also see some gray areas and why people make the choices they do? I talked about that. Of course, I'm human. I can see both sides. Not saying I agree with it. But I'm happy you said that about healthcare for people that are disabled, people that have special needs, because these families need help, right? And as conservatives or Christians, it's very easy to go out there and go, yes, pro-life, but then forget about the help that you need to give families afterwards. That is so key and important, in my opinion.
It's so true. And also the help you need to give to somebody who's in a crisis pregnancy.
Yes.
I'm very strongly pro-life. My son was born with a disability. He has 3 copies of his 21st chromosome, and he's succeeded in so many ways and such an inspiration.
Beautiful.
He's the reason I'm actually that I've been actually coaching football. That's a whole story. We probably don't have time, but a fun story.
For anything you want, man.
Yeah.
You want to tell? Let's hear it. I have much time as you want, brother. Come on.
All right. Well, I'll tell the story. So he was the videographer for his team, and the football coach said, the head coach said, Chris, I don't think I can have him back to do it for his senior year because I have 45 guys I've got to worry about. He's forgetting his stuff and I have to chase him down too. Mm-hmm. And so I said, well, what if I help him? And, so said, okay, if you help him and you promise, you organize this stuff. So I did it, and I actually did it very reluctantly.
Okay.
And the next thing I know, I'm coaching, I'm helping out. And, and I fell in love with doing it, with the team, with the coaching staff, with, just going on the road on Friday nights and just seeing these young men transformed. And it was all because of my son. So, we've always said in our marriage, we'll take whatever child God sends us. We're going to welcome that child. And, God called our number with our first and almost called our number with our third, who was almost born severely prematurely. She was born 5 weeks prematurely, but she could have been born like 15, or actually it was 20 weeks, at 21 weeks. Wow. Which would have been severe, right on the edge of, being able to live outside of the mom. So, but that's another long story. But again, God provided and yeah. So I pro-life has to be whole pro-life. You support before, during, and afterwards, and every single life is valuable. The life of a veteran on the streets who is on his last legs is every bit as valuable as and is yours or mine. Yeah,
absolutely, 100%.
Yeah,
we're on the same page on that one.
Yeah.
Final question. I always leave it up to my guest. Okay.
Yeah.
What did I miss here, brother? I mean, tell me something you want to get across to people. We've got an election coming up, right?
Yeah.
Orange County mayor, conservative candidate, Chris Messina. What did I miss, or what do you want to get across to people? The floor is yours.
Well, I think the most important thing is that people ask me, they say, what's your competition, your main competition? And I say complacency. We need people to vote in the primary. The primary is August 18th. Early voting starts August 3rd and runs through the August 16th. Right now, mail-in ballots are out. And so I'm really asking for everybody listening, if you can vote for me, Chris Messina, you can go to chrismessina.com, my website, to learn more or to support me. And please spread the word to other folks. We are being outfunded. There's a lot of outside money. New York City billionaires are pouring money into some of my competition because they don't want to see the changes we talked about, a thriving new vision for Orange County. They want more and more government and what that brings. So if there's anybody out there that's so inclined to support us, that would be really helpful, because we use every cent to get the message out. And it's a message of hope for our community, of great jobs and safe streets, and hope for the future.
I love it, man. I want to ask you this because I just thought about it.
Sure.
So I'm going to have some of your opponents in the show here, I'm sure, over the next couple of weeks. I like what your vision is, okay? I agree with it. And I'm not making any qualms about that, all right? What question would you want me to ask your opponent or opponents? Because everybody else is a Democrat. Or, let's say not a conservative. What question would you have me ask them directly? If you could ask, if you've been sitting there, maybe you and your wife are like, man, I wish somebody would just nail them with this question. What would be the question I should ask?
I mean, you've been in politics for over a decade. Why do we have all these problems in our community if you've been in the position to do something about it?
There you go. Right? It's a fair question.
Yeah.
Especially when you consider that, not like you're going against the other party. Everything around Orange County and Orlando is all dims.
The control of the
dims.
levers of power.
So,
and you know, you're talking about all these things you need to do. Why haven't they been done? Why didn't you do them?
That's a fair question.
Yeah.
Folks, we're going to leave it right there. Our guest is Chris Messina. He is the conservative candidate for Orange County Mayor. Anthony, we're going to drop some information right there, chrismessina.com. We've got the election on the 18th. We've got early voting going on right now through the 16th. Everybody.
It's a mail-in voting now.
Mail-in voting.
Early voting starts August 3rd.
There it is, August 3rd. August 3rd through the 16th. Folks, I really like your vision.
Yeah.
I'm happy that your people got in touch with me.
I appreciate that.
We need a conservative voice to stand up for, in my opinion, what has become complacency in Orange County, everybody.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to see that you're back to do this again because let's see, Dimmings is out and we need a new vision in Orange County if we're going to change Orlando and change Central Florida.
Amen.
Chris, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you. And
man, this
God
is
bless
great.
you.
I could do 30 minutes with you.
Yeah.
Thanks, brother. I really appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, buddy.
You too.
All right, everybody. We'll see you next time here at Patrick Carr Show.